Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us for our first staff meeting post-2020, if you can believe that. So we're happy to start doing these again, and the goal is that we're going to do them about every other month. So to kick off our first meeting, we are welcoming Don from Ameriprise Financial right here in Bangor. So he's a local man, and we're just really happy to have him here to join us. So Don, if you want to come up and let everybody know what you're here for. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I am Don Hagstrom. I'm with Ameriprise Financial, and I'll make a slight correction. We actually just moved our office from Bangor to Orrington. So parking's better, it's quieter, we love it. So anyhow, but local for sure. I've been with Ameriprise for almost 28 years, so I've been doing this for a while. The reason for my attendance today is that there's some upcoming changes to your company 401k plan, and so it's a bit of a fluid situation. I want to just make sure that as things are changing, that we're giving you information as we have it to make sure there are no big surprises for any employees. So some of the changes coming, as you're probably all already aware of, there were some changes with the payroll company, and the payroll company and your old 401k plan just didn't mix. So the new 401k plan that you will have is with a company called Nationwide. I'm sure you see their ads on television all the time. It's a very good plan, very good product. My role in it is I've kind of handpicked all the investments in the new plan. So some of them are target date funds. For those of you who use target date funds, there's a whole bunch of other individual options. So it's a really, really good platform. It's a really, really good product. I think you'll all like it a lot. There is a Roth option in the plan and a traditional option, which means if you want to defer money on a pre-tax basis, you can do that. But you can also add your money to the Roth portion of the 401k if you want. So you really will have the option, and your deferral limits are based on age. If you're under 50, $23,500 is the maximum contribution. If you're over 50, then it goes up to $30,500 for those of you that are super savers, just for whatever it's worth. But the plan itself is going to have probably 25 or so different investment options in it. Once again, some are target date funds, some are just other, managed mutual funds and some index funds. So it's going to be a pretty diverse product mix. Two parts of it. One is very soon, and I'm not sure if Chris gave you a specific timeline on when the new contributions will be going into the new plan, but it's fairly soon.
I don't have the exact dates
So
yet.
it will be soon. So anybody who's currently contributing is still going to the Paychex plan, but very soon those will start getting deposited into the new plan. And then we believe the timeline is approximately in March. There's a whole bunch of regulatory stuff that has to happen in order to be able to move plans from the old Paychex plan into the Nationwide plan. But that we're anticipating the timeline of that being approximately in March. When that happens, for any of you who have a balance in the old plan that's going to transfer into the new plan, I've done something called mapping, which means whatever your allocation looked like in the old plan, the investments in the new plan that are the most similar to it, they're going to automatically map into it. So your allocation is going to be very similar. Your risk profile won't change. But the names of the funds, there's actually 2 or 3 of them that are the same as the old plan, but most of them are new. But if you used a target date fund, there are target date funds in the new plan. It's just going to be, instead of Vanguard, it's going to be just a newer product. That's all. JP Morgan, actually. So target date funds are very, very similar. But if you had any actively managed fund, it's going to map into a fund that is very similar to it. So there's no concern about suddenly your risk profile has changed or anything like that. In the interim, while your new contributions will start going into the new plan, even before any balance you have transfers into it, for regulatory reasons, it's going to default in it's a default investment option, which is a target date fund. So your contributions will go between now and when the new funds are when the asset transfer happens, will need to go into the default fund for a few pay periods, and then when the other assets transfer, we can deploy them any way we want thereafter. So there's just a few rules about that. But essentially, the assets will transfer in March is what we anticipate. The new contributions will start in the new plan here, likely within the next couple of pay periods. And I'm gonna be the face of it for you. So for any employee who needs assistance, who needs help, hand-holding, whatever it is that you need to either get enrolled or make sure your allocation is what you want it to be, to determine what goes pre-tax or Roth, or you can split it if you want. It doesn't have to be all one or all the other. So you can kind of do whatever you want. You can really customize it to whatever your specific needs are, whatever your specific risk tolerance is. And for any of those types of questions for all employees, I'm here, I'm local, and I have left a pile of business cards here. The next bit of information that will come is fairly soon, as in I'm thinking probably certainly before your next scheduled meeting. I'm gonna have folders from Nationwide with specific plan information and just a lot more plan specific stuff that you may want to read through that may answer a few questions, but it'll give you a lot more information. So where we're kind of in this transition period, I'm waiting for Nationwide to generate this stuff, but they do and they will. So I will likely come back in your next meeting and distribute all of that. And
Great.
For anybody who can't be here during the meeting, we'll make sure we leave plenty of these folders here to make sure anybody who wants one has access to it. So in a nutshell, that's kind of what's happening. You know, it's not something that's a flick of a switch. It takes a little time to get through all the regulatory requirements to shift a plan, a 401k plan, but the wheels are turning on it. And I think you'll all be very, very pleased with the 401k plan once it switches. So anyhow, that is what I wanted to share today. More information to come. And once again, once I have the actual folders that Nationwide will generate, I will be sure to come back and distribute them so everybody has that information as well. So I will pause there. I didn't know if there are any specific questions that anybody might have, but fire away if you do.
So there's nothing we need to do right now?
No, there's nothing you need to do.
Okay.
So once the new contributions start going into the new plan, they will automatically happen through payroll, so you don't need to take any action. I find it's a time that sometimes people like to review whatever their contribution percentage is. Okay, yeah, I'm doing 6%. I want to make sure that's what's going into the new plan. It won't change other than the destination where it lands. So you'll get a once you make your first contribution, shortly thereafter, you'll get a statement. It'll just come from Nationwide. You'll still get a statement from Paychecks as well, because there's still a balance there. But once that transfers, then it'll all be on the Nationwide letterhead statement material, and all the details will be right there. So there is no action on the part of any employee at this point in time. The only action that may be necessary is once the assets transfer, if we need to sync up what your new money is going into to make sure it matches what is mapped in from the old plan, we might need to connect on that. But once again, that's what I'm here for. Whether I come back here and help people individually or set up separate phone or Microsoft Teams meetings, whatever is necessary, I can walk you through all that stuff.
But that won't happen till March?
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Right. That's
Okay.
the estimated time frame, which means it could
Okay.
happen late February, it could be April, but they're
Okay.
telling us they think it'll be sometime in March.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and if I could be mistaken, I believe the target date was March 23rd, so it's the
Yep.
latter part.
Yep.
Okay.
So, so there's a lot that goes into making these changes, is precipitated by, some changes in payroll that kind of led us to where we are, but, it's all gonna be worthwhile in the end, but, anything worthwhile takes a little time and effort, and that's what we're putting in right now to make sure it goes as smoothly as we can, so. All right, that's all I've got.
Any other questions?
I think so.
Okay,
Well, thank you so much, Dawn.
you're very welcome.
Really appreciate your
Thank you.
time and glad you come back. Thank you.
All right, I will do that.
Good,
Okay,
good.
I'll just grab my,
Sounds wonderful. Thank you.
appreciate the time.
Have a great
Thank you.
day.
Bye.
Good to meet
Thank
you all.
you.
All right, bye-bye.
So next on our agenda, Hope and Lee just wanted to give a small presentation on our rewards program, Zingage, so that everyone will have an opportunity to understand a little bit more about it. So please give us a second while they set up, and they'll do their presentation on Zingage. And thank you both, Hope and Lee, for putting this together.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, you're sorry, Sam.
I'm the caregiver.
So, there we go. Just look like that. There we go. Good. All right. I'll let you start. How about that?
Well, a lot of you don't know about the program. So this is Zingage. So it's a rewards program for you that does nothing but help you and gives you some money in your pocket. And it's kind of fun to play with too. So we wanted to go over that and let you know a lot of the detail that you're probably missing, and we want you to jump in and be engaged and get involved. So the biggest part is this is a reward program for you. It does put money in your pocket, okay? A lot of it works as points program. So you have 1 point equaling 1 cent, which doesn't seem like much, but it adds up so quickly, it's amazing. So what happens is, there's different ways you can earn extra points. So you have your birthday, okay, that on your birthday, which everybody has a birthday, you get $5 for just having a birthday. So that's amazing, you know, so happy birthday. Then you have a work anniversary, okay? And obviously we all have a start date. So what happens is 3 months into your start date, you get $5 for just being part of the team. It's fantastic. And then we have spot rewards, okay? And these are a little bit different. They have different categories. So how it works is, Hope, do you want to explain about a caregiver shadow?
So there are often times when we have caregivers that have just started with us, and it's really nice for them to not only get the online training, the in-person training through orientation, but also be able to connect up with another caregiver right from the start. And they get to shadow a caregiver at a shift. And it isn't always just to be with that client. It's not about a scheduling transition really. It's really about how are you acclimating into this role as a caregiver, because ultimately as a caregiver we're often going to people we don't know. We have clients that we've not seen before. We're filling in sometimes when somebody calls out, and we go from place to place. So when you shadow with another caregiver who has the experience and knows how to acclimate into different homes and all the different levels of care with our clients, it's just a nice way for the newer caregiver that's joined our company to see how you do it as a caregiver, and what that's going to look like for them as they transition out into other shifts. And so we like to reward our caregivers who kind of pour into the new caregiver. You know, it's a nice team effort thing, and so we like to reward that.
So they get $5 for that. So just, you know, again, just showing up, doing your job, being, you know, a positive role model, it's fantastic. Then we have a client referral, okay? So if you refer a client, you get $50. And we've seen all of you out there in the community, and people comment on you and seeing you in action, and they say, hey, I saw one of your girls or one of your guys out at the furniture store or at the grocery store, and I want them. I want to hire them. okay? So that's really inspiring, and seeing you in action and having that effect on people and having the, new clients say, hey, I want them, speaks just milestones to you guys in what you do out there. So you get $50 for that. And then, of course, everybody knows the emergency shift. So when we call you or send you a message and ask you for an emergency shift, which we do often, you guys are awesome about grabbing those. You do it because you care. You do it because you care about our clients and you don't want them to go without care. But here's the kicker. You get $10 every time you say, hey, I'll take that shift. Because we're recognizing you're giving up your time, your personal time to your, whatever you're doing. And we want to say, hey, thanks for doing this. Of course, you're getting paid and you're helping people, which is our bonuses. But here's another bonus, $10 in your pocket. Go buy a pizza. So, it's fantastic. So we appreciate you. We also have attendance, okay? Now, obviously, we expect you guys to come to work. Like, we have to come to work, okay? But you know what? You get paid for that extra. It's amazing. So, every time you go to your shift, that you show up at your shift, you get 5 cents. And again, might not seem like much, but it adds up quickly. And you're already there, getting paid to work, and now here's a little bonus. Also with attendance, when you show up for 6 shifts in a row, okay, you get 50 cents. Again, for just showing up and seeing your clients and doing your job and being the wonderful caregivers that you are. But here's another bonus. So it's really amazing just with all the little incentives that you have. And do you want to go over the weekly?
So the weekly general comment, writing your descriptive general comments. So when I go over orientation with our caregivers that are coming on, and when I do reviews, I often talk about that comment section when you're at your shift. It's really important that we're talking about, what are the priority of the shifts that you've done? What are the things you didn't do and why? Because sometimes we can't always get every single thing done in that care plan. And there's reasons for it, legitimate reasons sometimes. And then giving an overall view of what did that shift look like? How was your client today? It's really important for the family members because once we clock out of that shift, they can see our comments as a caregiver. So it's important for the families to be able to stay connected, especially if they're out of state or working full-time themselves and really busy. So that's really important to have that comment section. So if you have like 200 characters or more when you're doing that, then you can get 10 cents in that for just doing that comment. And we require that, honestly. Yes, you're documenting your tasks up top, but it's really important that you're putting that comment in there because the other part of that is the next caregiver, when you're sharing your notes with the next caregiver, they're not always going to see the tasks that you did per se that were documented, yes or no. They're going to see that comment section. And so it's really important for the next caregiver to have that information from the previous caregiver. So that's an easy thing to do. It doesn't take much, couple of sentences, a nice overview of how the shift went. It's pretty easy, honestly. It's an easy way to gain some extra cash. So I encourage you to keep doing it. Do a great job.
And there's also some fun little programs on the app that Hope actually discovered, and she can tell you about that. But really, you got to dive in and get involved because you can make all these pennies and dollars and everything adds up so quickly. But these are fun programs on there too. Can you tell them about these?
So the big Z, when you go into the app on the bottom, I'm trying to remember just exactly how everything went, but like you have the home button, you have goals, you have the store, but right in the middle is that orange Z. And so you click on that and you can go right in and refer somebody right there. For a caregiving position, you can go in and do that, and then you get like is it 50 points? 50,
It is.
I think it's 50
Yeah.
points. So that's a quick, easy thing that you can do. And then they have, fun. It's a little gambling. I don't know. I'm not one much to gamble, but it might be a little fun. You never know. I looked at the list of things, and so it costs you 750 points when you spin that little wheel. But you might actually get like a $25. You could either lose a little money and get like a $5 or $10 gift card, or you could go up and you could get like a $25 gift card. So that's an option if you like to, play with your points, you can do that. So a couple little things there. And then of course, these are all the ways that you can take your points and put them towards a gift card of your choice. And there's a lot of choices there. So it's a nice little perk for you to not only get paid for your job, to feel the reward of always helping other people, but you also, get those little incentives and then can treat yourself in whichever way that you choose. Nobody's mandating that. You get to choose where you'd like to go and how you'd like to treat yourself.
Right. There's also, it's important to see that people think of gift cards and it's not, whatever. But you can do PayPal too. So that's cash.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And I've done Amazon. I've
Yep,
put mine towards
there's Amazon. I mean, there's about 60 of them that you can pick from, which are amazing. Also, there's no expiration on the points. There's,
There is a system one that they would get notified of.
oh, there
Yeah.
is a system.
So
Oh, she
last
didn't say
year,
that to
the
me.
points
Yeah.
expired in March.
Okay.
So we
Same-
had to make sure we
same
used
thing?
them up before
Okay, so it is
March.
March.
And so if
Okay.
that's gonna come out, you're gonna get a notification
Absolutely.
of when that's gonna be, if it does
Yep.
expire. But overall, other than that one expiration,
Reset.
they just accumulate.
And it's in $5 increments, so
Yes.
if you think, oh, I just have $5, but what does, if you have $7.50 on your card, in your bucket, you can cash it in for $5 and put that towards, any of the food places, any PayPal, you can just keep adding to, whatever you want it to go towards, you can do that. Oh,
And then we welcome your thoughts on these incentives as well. So, if you have ideas or if you have, some stories to tell us, by all means, give us a call, send us an email, let us know what you think of this program. And because we always welcome feedback.
Right.
So,
because it's for you. This program, Alicia has made for you. So go get it, get involved, jump on the points. If you have questions, call the office. We would love to talk to you so you can get the biggest bang for your buck.
there you go.
What about our monthly, like our True Angel and Angel of the Month? Those come through as spot rewards as well, right?
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
which we put that in the caregiver newsletter. Every month we let you know what's going on and how much is in there and how much the caregivers are cashing in, and it adds up very quickly.
Yep, sure does. Awesome.
Thank you both.
I have a question.
Yes.
If I'm a caregiver who maybe isn't aware that I'm taking advantage of the program, or I want to take advantage more, is there something I have to do special to sign up, or is it all automatic?
So generally, once, say you're a new caregiver, after 3 shifts is usually when you're invited to the program, and then you're in. So if you have questions, you certainly can call us, and we can guide you through. I've certainly gone through. One of the biggest things was, how do I transfer my points? And so I went, because I have it on my phone, I went right in and showed them exactly, how to do it. I also wrote up exactly how to do it and sent it out to them so they could process it a different way if it was easier. So certainly it's automatic after you've filled 3 shifts, and then from there you can just call and ask questions.
Do they have to enroll, Hope? Like, do they get a message that tells them to enroll, or are they automatically enrolled?
I thought that they were automatically enrolled. It's been a long time since I was enrolled, so I have to check into that.
Okay.
I thought that after 3 shifts they were automatically enrolled, but I can check into that a little bit further.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Appreciate it.
So take advantage, guys.
Yep.
It's there for you.
Thank you.